For the first time since 2015, the Xavier Musketeers are heading to the Big East Championship game. What an impressive performance by Xavier, 82-60. They beat Creighton. We're joined by their head coach, Sean Miller, to start off Big East Shootaround After Dark. Sean, you just faced a Creighton team that was top 15 in KenPom adjusted defensive efficiency. What did you make of the offensive performance?
Well, John, I thought tonight the story for us is that it wasn't just our offense, it was our defense too. And, when you get defensive stops and you're a good offensive team, you get out in transition more and you create advantages that if the ball keeps going in against you or you foul or you can't get stops, even though you're talented on offense is just that much more difficult. I thought our defense tonight was a big reason that we were able to score. We ran in transition. And it was the fact that we were good on both ends.
Sometimes head coaches are in denial when they're able to be fortunate, learn the lesson, and still advance and get by. And I loved your post-game presser last night to where you acknowledged how the defensive end could have been better. How do you turn that dynamic on such a short turnaround?
I think, first of all, we have an experienced group. So I think it resonated with them how close we were to not having the opportunity to play Creighton today. I mean, we were fortunate. DePaul did a great job against us. And look, I want to give DePaul credit because they were very difficult to defend. But were we at our best? Were we really locked in yesterday like we were today on the defensive end? No. So we learned that lesson, and I hope the next lesson is to advance and to be the best team that we can be. That's how we have to play. And I think if we play that way, we'll be a tough out in this tournament and the next tournament as well.
Sule Boom tonight, Sean Miller, 23 points. You've talked about what he's meant all season long. I'm curious, as this year has gone on, what have you learned about him?
Well, he's unflappable. He doesn't worry about too much. It's a great characteristic because, John, he's contagious. So he gives his teammates confidence with his shot making, with his clutch play. I think they have such a great belief in him that in some ways it allows a guy like Colby Jones to be the best he can be.
Put your broadcaster cap on for a moment. We're looking at highlights. Take us through what you're seeing here as we look back.
Well, I think right now, like, for example, in this right here, this transition right there is a function of us getting a stop, right? So a quick field goal and a quick push, it's always easier when you're running off the other team's misses.
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach. I mean, just between your half-court defense, and I don't mean to jump past tomorrow night, but imagine only having 72 hours to prepare for Sule Boom and Colby Jones in the backcourt as well when you guys are clicking on all cylinders.
Our bigs did a great job today as well, setting screens. When you listen to Sule, he talked a lot about, at Creighton, we allowed their guards to really bully our screens and get over the top. I thought, again, some of our best offense happened because of screens. And then Jack, remember, they played Jack with the power forward. Mm-hmm. And when you guard Jack Nungy with the power forward, sometimes he can shoot over you and get you on the offensive glass. And Jack was big tonight for us.
I got to tell you what. I know a lot of talking heads in the media and they're chatting going, oh, man, it would have been great to have Connecticut here Saturday night, all these Midwest schools, whatever. But I got to tell you, not one coach has talked about the legacy of the Big East and Madison Square Garden more than you have this entire week from your history. Do you think that that's really hitting home with the guys?
I hope so, because, one thing that you learn the longer that you coach, these moments in March, these are the moments that you always remember. And, not that getting here and all the work you put in throughout the long course of the season is any less important because you have to have a great season to put yourself in this position. But we're all defined by what we do in March, players, teams, and that's what I've really been preaching to these guys. And embrace the pressure of Madison Square Garden, New York City, the crowd, and understand that, like, performing on this stage, that's when people will remember you for a long, long time.
Sean, a year ago at this time, we were talking on the Field of 68 doing pregame and postgame shows throughout the month of March. For the first time, have dreamt that the Xavier Musketeers would be playing for a Big East championship on a Saturday night in Manhattan, and that you would be the man on the sidelines?
Not really. I was just happy that I had the opportunity, and then obviously being at a place that you care deeply about and that they care for you, and then being affiliated with a conference like the Big East, it's certainly special.
And
In Madison Square Garden, I know sometimes people on the outside are like, come on, is it really that? But unless you're here, you don't really understand how special it is to compete in this tournament.
And look, you still get to talk to Fanta at midnight. So
all the time.
That's true.
Beautiful things in life still go on.
I don't know
Coach.
if that is. Now here's the last question from us, because then you've got a lot of work to do.
I mean, could he make the team bus at least?
Yeah, he'll make it. We're foodies, so we're both
Speak
thinking
for
about.
yourself.
We're both thinking of where we're heading after this.
Actually, I am starving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starving
Yeah.
too. So you're preparing. You're going to work your butt off. Like, will you have something to eat tonight?
They're going to have
Absolutely.
grilled chicken breasts and sautéed broccoli.
No
Nothing
chance.
that you're putting in your system.
No
tonight.
chance.
Really?
I'm gonna eat the
Ooh.
best pizza that I can possibly
About
go
that?
and eat a lot of
Got
it. I mean,
Fanta pumped.
you got to live, right? Right, Fanta? You got to live.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Eat that pizza and compete for a Big East championship tomorrow.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Good
so
luck,
we'll
Coach.
see how it goes.
Sean Miller, thank you.
All
We'll
right.
see you
See you
tomorrow
guys.
night. That's Sean Miller. We'll take a quick break here on Big East Shootaround and be back with a recap of the day from the Garden. Semifinal Friday is in the books at Madison Square Garden at the 41st consecutive Big East tournament at the world's most famous arena, and then there were two. And for the first time since 2004, back when Jim Calhoun was patrolling the sidelines, UConn and Pitt, it'll be number one versus number two. Chalk has ruled in the midst of all the chaos, and it's going to be Marquette and Xavier. What is so funny?
Your energy.
My energy's funny?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you
You're always
now-
on 10. You're always on the 10.
Parisi, Tyreek Turner here. So welcome to the set. Before we really get started with the discussion, you know, we were just on with Sean Miller, and you brought up chicken, grilled chicken, and spinach.
Yeah, Tariq knows that's normally pregame meals with a little starch on the side.
Yeah.
And
Cannot be dry chicken. It's got to be well.
I just didn't have you having that postgame meal at all this week.
What did you What did you have tonight?
Get that man some
What,
water, please.
Tariq, what did he have tonight? Did he miss on both?
Yeah, you're 0 for 2.
You were 0 for 2 tonight.
Tonight,
You're open.
this went
Yeah.
just like my March Madness predictions when the brackets come out after Selection Sunday.
And
Just
Bruce-
do the opposite of what Vin Parisi picked.
And somehow Bruce Beck kept him employed.
Good point. Thank you, John, for pointing that out.
Sports Final Sunday with VP Hoops, baby. All your picks in March. Just take out the pencil and go the opposite way, Tyreek.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Opposite way. You're 0 for 2.
Thank
So
you.
I was 1 for 2.
Yeah.
What were you, John?
He picked the Blue Jays all the way.
Okay. Crickets.
I believe the quote was, "A bear
First time
always
you didn't
keeps
have
its
anything
honey
to say.
close."
Yeah, the wedding is off.
Between you
Not
and Greg
mine.
McDermott.
Not mine. My wedding is still on. My wedding is very much still on.
Yes,
The-
You and Greg
She's-
McDermott.
yeah,
The analogy.
yeah, she is right here.
Yeah.
She is right here. Yeah, she's staring at me now from behind the set. My wedding is on still.
Vicky, he means the Greg
Not giving out
McDermott
date or
wedding.
location. We wouldn't want that.
Right.
But we will say, I said that this was supposed to be Creighton's coronation. Gentlemen, what did we just watch tonight from the Xavier Musketeers winning 82-60?
We watched the woodshed beating. I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, the big three for Xavier were phenomenal. Boom, Jones, and Nunji. They all brought it in different ways, and I just thought the relentless attacking style of Boom, the reads he made in the ball screen action, and then Jones continuing to put the pressure on with the shot making, that was just too much for Creighton to handle. And I thought Creighton was going to carry over from what they had last night, but they just couldn't handle him. And I thought you just got to give Xavier trouble. I thought that Claude continues to emerge as a major guy that's coming off the bench and giving him another playmaker off the dribble. And this man right here, Hunter, has really stepped up with Fremantle being out. It was an all-around, well-balanced game.
Yeah, and Sean Miller was right. It was a great offensive night. 47% from the field, 41% from downtown, and 81% from the free throw line. But this game was won because they cleaned up everything defensively that Sean Miller and the coaching staff thought that they lacked against DePaul. If you would have told Greg McDermott before this game that Kaluma was going to have 7, that Nemhard was going to have 5 points in 31 minutes, that other guys were going to be a non-factor, he would have told you that it was going to be a struggle, and Xavier really, really brought it on the defensive end.
Plus 17 rebounds, Xavier to Creighton.
How about that?
That's the game right there.
Yes, it
45 to 28, and when you out-rebound a team like that, it's hard to lose.
Very.
And I got to say this. I'm going to add one less. I'd like to get Tariq's thoughts on this as well, because here's something that doesn't come up in the box score. That ball was not popping tonight.
Right.
With
They had 22 assists last
typical,
night.
they had 22 assists, but even the ball was on. But it would be 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 deflection. Missed shot, rebound. That flow just was not there for the Blue Jays.
Here's the deal. All season long, these were the top 2 teams that we're getting tomorrow night in Marquette and Xavier. And tomorrow night, guys, it's Tyler Kolek, who was the Big East Player of the Year, against a guy who, for all intents and purposes, finished runner-up, if not third, in Sule Boom for Xavier. He had 23 points tonight, has been fantastic all season long. So Xavier's on to the Big East Championship game. Here's the thing. We will have a first-time Big East Tournament champion tomorrow night. We will have a Midwest Big East Tournament champion tomorrow night. It's Xavier, it's Marquette. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 Eastern Time on Fox with Rob Stone, Donnie Marshall, Casey Jacobson, Gus Johnson, Jim Jackson, Christina Pink will have the call at 6:30 Eastern Time over on Big Fox as well. We'll be with you at 5 Eastern Time with an expansive pregame show in which you will have
That's a perfect late lunch itinerary for you tomorrow.
We need to have a nice spread.
At 5 o'clock?
Yeah. we gotta do
No, I
something.
mean like a 2-3 p.m.er
Oh, yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Like
a
a
little,
jam.
little
Gentleman's
trip to
lunch.
maybe Sarge's Deli.
Yeah, an intense lunch.
I'm down with that.
The pastrami
I'm with
is
that.
boiling right now.
Bubbling.
Okay, let's turn to game 1 earlier tonight. Wow, what a game. Marquette 70, UConn 68. We have talked all week about the Golden Eagles and what they've been known for all year, their offense. They finished the game with 5 consecutive stops.
Yeah.
What did you see in this ball game?
Well, I saw Omax Prosper shut down Hawkins. As soon as Hawkins got off the bus, Prosper was right in his shirt. And that right there, that matchup was, in a nutshell, I mean, there's a lot of parts to the game, but that in a nutshell was the matchup to key on. And when you hold Hawkins, their best player, to 2 of 11 from the field, and almost every shot he took, Vinny, was contested.
Yeah.
You got to give Prosper some credit. He was all over him. He used his length, his foot speed, and just his attention to detail, the scouting report, and it all came together, and it was just a supreme defensive effort, not only by Prosper, but the entire team.
Yeah, I mean, Sonogo brought it. You know, Caravan was 4 for 5 from the field, but if you would have told Danny Hurley before the game that Tristan Newman and Jordan Hawkins were going to go 4 for 21 combined, he would have been concerned. And I agree with Tariq, the perimeter defense was elite. Let's talk about the fact that Omax Prosper not only did the defensive job that he accomplished against the Jordan Hawkins, but Tariq, 34 minutes, that type of defensive effort against one of the top guards that you'll see in any league, and he only had 1 foul.
Yeah,
Think about
impressive.
that. Think
Very
about that.
impressive.
To disrupt Jordan Hawkins like that and only have 1 foul in 34 minutes, they were really connected.
And then Cam Jones, I mean, there's no better shot maker maybe in the Big East in terms of tough shots. I mean, this kid makes shots that look like they shouldn't go in, but he's got a lot of confidence, a lot of swag.
Great
high
arc on
arching
his shot. Yeah.
And him and Kolick were the catalyst for this Marquette team. That backcourt just outplayed UConn's backcourt, and they were able to advance.
Mm-hmm.
So, the stage is set. Marquette, Xavier, a Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. When the two teams met on February the 15th, Xavier was in the driver's seat of the game. Just over a minute left. Marquette finds a way, 69-68. Omax Prosper turned into the hero in that one, an amazing win for the Golden Eagles. And so you've got a rematch here of a game that was decided by 1 point. You have the 6th-ranked team in the country versus the 15th-ranked team in the country. Both elite offenses. Obviously, there's drama from their last meeting. What kind of a game can we expect?
Well, I think nothing against the bigs in the front lines tomorrow, but I think on the perimeter, it's going to be fascinating for all of the names and personalities that you just mentioned and for the dynamics that's going on right now, whether you want to talk about Marquette's offensive efficiency or whether you want to talk about Xavier's perimeter defense. But you're looking for a prediction, John Fanta. I know you are. Now, my brain wants to take Xavier because of how Sean Miller's club is playing right now, the performance that they just had against Creighton, and how they're playing both ends of the field. But we know my luck this week, so I'm going to go with my heart and the emotional pick, and I just think that this is the year of Shaka Smart and the Golden Eagles. Preseason picked here in this very arena on Media Day back in October, 9th, with no seniors on the roster, and the Golden Eagles win the regular season. I'm going to go with Shaka's crew.
And if you like offense, this is the matchup. I mean, these are two elite offensive teams. They both score in the 80s. They both shoot the 3. They have interchangeable parts. Great guard play. As you said, I do think the backcourt is going to be the key to watch. And, you know, you got dynamic guard play. Cam Jones and Kolick versus Boom and Kobe Jones. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And I think that that's going to be one thing to watch, those two versus those two. But I'd have to give Marquette the edge. I think Marquette is just – it's their time. I think Kolick is just playing at a level right now where he just calms his team down, but he also makes big shots. And then Cam Jones is the guy that just closes games out. And I just think that backcourt is going to prevail, and Marquette's going to cut the nets down.
Your move, Mr. Fanta.
I'm going to sleep on this. I'm going to sleep on it.
All right.
I'm going to get a great night's rest. Hibernation mode.
Zero dark 30 mode. Okay.
That's highly doubtful.
Highly doubtful. What does that mean?
That you're going to get a good night's rest.
I think I'll get – what would prevent me from getting
You're
a good
wired.
night's rest?
Well, you're in the Big Apple.
Oh.
You're in Big East tournament mode.
Oh, no, I shut down. I have a snoring issue.
Well,
You want my follow-up
I don't know what to say there.
on cam or no?
Oh, we left it open-ended, so go
Okay.
ahead. Is that an ask your doctor? If you need
Sleep apnea?
I like the Golden Eagles for tomorrow evening.
Any final thoughts from either of
Oh,
you
you
two?
didn't give us your pick. Are you going to wait till
I said I was going to sleep on it. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Okay.
both have picked Marquette. We've been wrong the entire week. So I'm going to pick Xavier to win this game because that means somebody would be right. That means somebody would have to be right.
Okay.
I think it'll be a very close game. Here's my thought on the game. Xavier is still thinking about that last game against Marquette. They should have won that game. They let it slip big time. They let it slip big time. I'm all with you on Team of Destiny. But I just have a gut feeling here with if Boom and Jones are both cooking, they could be the best two players on the floor.
And vice versa.
And vice versa with Kolek and Jones.
Yeah,
who's the better Jones?
Good
Meet
question.
the Joneses
question.
tomorrow night.
Okay.
Shaka Smart versus Sean Miller. Who would have thought, if I told you 3 years ago, it'll be Sean Miller versus Shaka Smart for the
Right.
Big East title, what would you have said to me?
No, that's a great. Yeah, that's a
When I
great
asked you
point.
if you were okay.
Well, I mean, we ask him that anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Good point.
I mean, save some stuff for the pregame show. I mean, you're really this is sizzling right now. You're going down some good roads.
It's 11:59, which means our crew
You
is
want-
off the clock in about 40 seconds. So it's
You
time
want
to go
keep
home.
keep it going till midnight to say good morning. Here we go. We got a nice photo up right here.
That
What's
does
for
it.
breakfast?
That does it for us. What's for breakfast? A nice set of sausage patties with your home fries and toast. For Tyree Turner, I hate eggs. Vin Parisi, I'm Guy Fieri. We'll talk to you tomorrow. What's coming up at midnight here on our
Why do you hate eggs?
coming up next? It's Inside Big East Esports. Good night from the Garden, everybody. So long.